Oh, if I had a cookie for every time New Jeans Mama may have offered up her own cookies for tricks, I'd have the Keebler elves working in my own magic shop. Yes, let's talk about the new dispatch report that brought the truth behind the lies, they said, of New Jeans Mama's image and statements. They brought the receipts. But really, when it came down to it, when you scroll down to the end, they basically said, you found out your mama was a grown hoe. Now, if you are in this unfortunate situation where you first find out that your mama is a grown hoe, it can be quite traumatic. But you quickly realize there is nothing you can really do about it. Now, I have nothing against twerking. I have nothing against even being a hoe, especially a grown hoe. The problem is when you bring the twerk to work. It's when you acting like a grown hoe in business situations. And the reason why I brought up twerking is because the actual Korean expression that Min Hee-jin used herself was a play on words. It's basically wagging your tail. So if you're wagging your tail, you are basically hard flirting, trying to seduce. And I brought up a similar concept once in a previous video when there were a lot of allegations and controversies with the current First Lady of South Korea and how her dubious past, as we should just say, really made housewives in Korea resentful. And after doing that video, which, I thought that was not a good situation, but I was thinking more along like national security or undue influence on national politics, through a grown hoe. But when women responded to it, especially working women in like a corporate environment, it really triggered something deep. I was like, wow, there is something even deeper there. And they were really upset about grown hoism. And I was like, why? It is a difficult conversation for women who are in the workplace and they are feeling that they can't go against the sisterhood. So you're not tearing other women down. But this is the rub that I saw. They were resentful that they had to play by the rules in an already rigged game against men. So already it's unfair that they are women and they have to be going through the slog of it all and having to deal with unfair labels based on being a woman. Then what I didn't realize is there's a layer in the middle that they, I think, silently have to struggle through for the most part. They're definitely not telling the men. And it is the grown hoes. So the women in the workplace who are wagging their tails to get ahead of women who do it the honest way. And I think by a certain age, you have probably, as a woman in the workforce, saw and resented at least one opportunity that you deserved and should have gotten, but it went to a grown hoe because she went up and wagged her tail. So it's a bit of a feeling of a theft. Remembering a theft that you were never really compensated for. Nobody really understood what you were feeling. Nobody really even recognized that that's exactly just what happened. And then you're not even allowed to call it out because then you would be labeled as somebody who is like a woman being against a woman when you just see this grown hoe just walk off with your promotion. So this dispatch report will probably give at least some solace to women who have had to deal with grown hoes in the workplace and had to put a Spanx around their mouth. On this channel, we don't do that. Take off the elastic, let it breathe. We do not slim down our thoughts on this channel. So to jump quickly to the end before going through it all, Min Hee-jin has disputed this report by Dispatch and even filed a lawsuit or an investigation with that Yongsan police station. You know, like she's got a loyalty card over there. And so she is totally denying and saying that the following by Dispatch is not true, although Dispatch has photo evidence. They have the testimony of one of the parties, and they have now additional screenshots of Telegram messages that all outline and form the basis of their report. So this was a very strategic article and reporting because it really targeted now the last remaining benefit of the doubt that the public may be giving Min Hee-jin. And the benefit of the doubt is usually based in this manipulation that hides behind some sort of identity that people value, so that by targeting her, you'd be targeting the identity, like you'd be targeting the concept of motherhood. Isn't Min Hee-jin just a mom taking care of her kids? And if I go against Min Hee-jin, then what does that say about me as a mother? That's the mental manipulation that she's been able to hide under, where people who still haven't been, you know, shown the light or see the light after they've been shown it many times are still thinking like, oh, well, maybe there's something there, like, you know, I want to withhold judgment. Okay, for the withhold judgment until everything has been proven crowd, by the time that happens, it could be too late, and then the thieves have already taken off with your stuff. So yes, you can wait until, oh, we got to prove that the thieves are, you know, they're really thieves and they're gonna steal something. And then by the time you're like, oh, they really were thieves, are you ever gonna get your stuff back? So the big theme of this report was essentially the truth behind the image that Min Hee-jin has cultivated. Again, I'm not gonna try to disparage grown hoes, you know, anything like that, but don't pretend you a mama who, you know, because she even says, I never drink, I never go to the club. Well, she didn't have to go to the club to twerk if we fully believe her, because all she had to do was ride the elevator up at work, and she, you know, twerked and twirled a little bit around for the executives and got some favors. So the first part of this article was saying that Min Hee-jin has projected an image of this virtuous mama, and now she's saying that Adore doesn't have the ability to protect New Jeans. New Jeans has to fly free like a bird and follow Min Hee-jin, who has the will and the ability to protect them. So that is essentially the thesis that, honey, this was a big antithesis. So then the second point was reminding us how she actually feels about artists and music, because if it was supposed to just be a metaphor, like, you know, everybody knows she's not really their mother, but she is taking care of artists as if she was a mother. That's how strong of a sense of responsibility she says she has. It's not just, well, I'm just the manager or the producer or the CEO of the label. I'm their mother because I need to protect their artistry. Well, they reminded us of a Kakao Talk message we've already seen from December 30th, 2023. And it shows how Min Hee-jin, in her own words, says that she's like disgusted with these so-called artists. She feels like she's doing something good for somebody else. It's a waste of time to feed those reckless kids. So she really looks down on New Jeans. She condescends them. Remember, she's already called them fat in some other messages. All they do is just stare at the mirror and think about dancing. You call that being an artist? So Dispatch is reminding us of what, yeah, we've already seen, that she has this two-faced, double-faced. I say she has many faces, but let's just go with two at the moment. On the one hand, she says she's all about protecting the artists. On the other hand, in private conversations, she doesn't even count them as artists, and she looks down on them, and she resents the fact that she has to work for them. And even earlier this year, she said, she just called out, she's like, you're not an artist. How many times do I have to tell you? You really think you're an artist? So essentially, she's trying to degrade whoever she was talking to and say that you're nothing without me. You're more of a manufactured Frankenstein creation that shines and lights up because of Min Hee-jin's genius. Third, Dispatch says not only does she not respect artists, she actually sees them as tools to be used. And not just for like, oh, well, I'm just going to produce these music artists and they're gonna work and make me money, and not even using them like that, but using them to get her own agenda across. And so Dispatch says this is clear now because she is willing to throw her artists on the front lines of battle and not even care about their well-being so that she can protect herself. So they gave the example of the September 11th live broadcast that the New Jeans member just did, remember, on YouTube, and everyone says like, oh, it's a press conference, the labang. So if you're wondering like, why are Korean people always saying is a labang? What is a labang? Are they speaking French? Well, labang is basically live 방송, so live broadcast, and then they shortened it because that nobody wants to say live 방송, the long thing, they just want to say labang. So that's what that was about. And Dispatch was saying that the labang was essentially just a ploy to pressure HYBE into reinstating Min Hee-jin as the CEO. It wasn't about the artists taking a stand on their own to declare what they want as artists and fighting for their rights, as they try to market it as with a media play, but really the main message that they were supposed to just focus and stay on was to bring Min Hee-jin back to adore as the CEO. How does Dispatch know? Well, they say that Min Hee-jin had a two-track strategy. From behind, they have evidence that she requested her position back on that day over email. And then at the same time, she used the New Jeans artists to pressure HYBE publicly. So she thought that she would give it a shot where, pressure them from behind saying like, I want my position back, and then bring out New Jeans out in the public, and then you're basically threatening HYBE's image and ability to do business unless you capitulate to her demands. How do we have another confirmation from Dispatch? They obtained text messages from Min Hee-jin to the families of New Jeans members, and the conversations took place on the day of the labang, or the live broadcast, on September 11th. These telegram messages were sent to a person that she called father, and people are thinking that it was from one of the fathers of the New Jeans members, unless she calling somebody else daddy. So most likely it was from one of the fathers, because he was saying like, oh, okay, are you doing the broadcast now, or what time is it? He's essentially asking like, when does it start? And then she says, oh, it's not going to start until 7 p.m. And then she added in that the bunnies are setting a stage, like it sounded like a media play or something. And she put a link to an article from the Q saying that this has been great. It's going to set the groundwork for an amazing live broadcast by the girls. She even had to thank Jesus for all of this. And she essentially knew that they were going to do the broadcast, despite stories from the actual members themselves when they were doing the broadcast saying that, oh, Min Hee-jin had no part in this broadcast. And then they even had an article coincide really quickly after the broadcast from KBS saying that, oh, Min Hee-jin tried to actually stop the girls from doing the broadcast, but the girls just wanted to say it so much on their own. But that article got deleted and taken down. And remember how suspicious that was, because even if you get something wrong, a lot of times media, they keep it up, but then they'll offer a correction. But lawyers were looking at that situation saying that Min Hee-jin actually messed up because she tried to make it have a distance and have the girl's message be more authentic by really distancing herself, saying like, oh, I knew about it, but I tried to stop them, but they did it anyway. She messed up legally because if she knew about it, she should have reported it higher up in the food chain. Yes, maybe she couldn't control what the girls did, but she never reported it higher up in the food chain of Adore and HYBE, and therefore that would be grounds to cancel her shareholder contract. So she tried to sidestep that one by deleting the article. Also at this time, the sexual harassment case had restarted again and been heating up, and then she was able to minimize the heat from that with this labang by the New Jeans members. But the biggest issue is not did you stop it, it's more of were you actually in the driver's seat? And before it was all sort of like circumstantial evidence, people were thinking like logically, of course, Min Hee-jin would be behind this, but Dispatch really brought the receipts with that telegram message from one of the New Jeans girls' fathers messaging her about what time does it start. If it was really run and operated by the New Jeans members without the blessing of Min Hee-jin, the father would just ask their daughter, oh, what time is the broadcast so that I can watch you? Instead, they're going to what it looks like the team captain, Min Hee-jin, who definitely knew about the broadcast. These were the receipts. Next, Dispatch throws some shade by reminding us of the dictionary definition of protection. Because she's saying that she has to protect the girls. The New Jeans artists themselves are saying HYBE and Adore have failed to protect us. Well, Dispatch is saying, do you protect your daughters by sending them out to the battlefield for you? Again, we heard the expression bandied about of not using artists as shields. It's because they have been. They've been using them as shields and swords, says Dispatch, and that fighting inherently, no matter how good you are, you're going to get hurt, you're going to get wounded. There's no way to avoid danger. And yet, these New Jeans girls have said that they're acting on their own, that they're not being dispatched by their New Jeans mama. A message that Hanni sent to her fans on the phoning app on October 9th. I've decided I'm going to the National Assembly, the state audit. I'm going by myself. And this is my own decision. You don't have to worry. I'm going for myself and the members. The managers and the company don't know yet. So Dispatch was saying, sure, the manager didn't know. Sure, the company didn't know. But definitely Min Hee-jin knew. So Hanni's message to the fans was on October 9th of the National Assembly audit, where she went and she did her crocodile tears. And then, she said that she was a victim while she was bullying the new CEO. And we saw now from this article that the day before, on October 8th, we have a photo. We have a photo of Hanni going to Min Hee-jin's office or home or studio with her yellow envelope of the court summons or her court, paperwork in there. And we also have in the same frame a picture of a lawyer from Min Hee-jin's law firm. So it was sort of like this, PI, private eye, private detective type of photography going on by them Dispatch photojournalists. And apparently they talked for over 4 hours. 4 hours with the lawyer, Hanni, and Min Hee-jin. And the second example that Dispatch gave about using the New Jeans artists as tools in the battlefield to fight your battles and not theirs was just going back a few days ago to the press conference on November 29th. Minji said, I haven't talked to Min Hee-jin separately, but I think she thinks the same way as us. So they're trying to always create some distance, saying that they are independently doing this to make it look like Min Hee-jin is not the puppet master and the mastermind and then the silent hand behind all of this. Dispatch says the invisible hand is too obvious because when you really look at this, the press conference was decided before actually receiving HYBE's certified mail reply to their 14-day deadline of responding to New Jeans' concerns over bullying and all these things that are breaching the contract. And it looked like the conclusion had already been decided. If they were actually just independent artists, just trying to make the best out of this situation and come to a kumbaya moment with Adore and HYBE, then they would be open and receptive to, working back and forth with their so-called evil bosses or evil companies that they're in a partnership with. But Dispatch says that it looked like the conclusion was already decided. Oh, and then Dispatch said Min Hee-jin was busy also in another way, essentially meeting with them bunny uncles. So Min Hee-jin is extremely upset whenever she is compared to the 50-50 situation. They even have a nickname, Min Sung-il. So there's Min Hee-jin, Min is her last name. An Sung-il is the name of the 50-50 dude that conspired and backstabbed. And so they call it Min Sung-il. I don't know. I don't really care. I think it's just kind of like dumb. What's really important though is that this takes it back to the whole Davolink debacle. Remember, we were reporting on that, saying that this looks extremely suspicious, and it all kind of fell apart in a weird way. And Min Hee-jin's side said that, it's kind of like all a joke, or it is a prank, or it is false, or all of the above. But we have in this dispatch report an interview with quotes from the chairman of Davolink. So exactly how I thought. You can only push a bunny uncle so far. This bunny uncle is out for blood. This bunny uncle is out for revenge. And I don't even think it's about not getting his cookies that were promised. It was sinking his stock price. Because there ain't no cookie that good when it comes to a man's wallet and a chairman's stock price. And so he spilled all of the tea here. He said that, Min Hee-jin and one of the uncles of one of the New Jeans girls came to my house, visited my house to discuss an investment. And then the dispatch report really emphasized came to my house in Cheongdam-dong, which is like the Beverly Hills of Seoul, and came in a Carnival van that the chairman sent. Now, why is that an important detail? What is a Carnival van? Are they clowns? No, Carnival is the name of a minivan line under the Kia brand that is frequently used by corporate executives. So long time ago, I think in the United States, the whole thing was like a Lincoln Town car. Like the company car would be like a Lincoln Town car. In Korea, it's usually a Kia Carnival, and inside, there's a lot of space in it. When you're seeing all of your favorite idols go in and out in those vans, it's usually a Kia Carnival van, and you can, some of them you can really trick out luxury kind of flying first class type of seats in the Carnival van, but you never know because the Carnival van, when it's just used by normal people, is actually just like a standard middle class type of a minivan in Korea. But apparently that's supposed to add some of the, kind of the legitimizing features. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Korean people be like, oh, they went in a Carnival van. Oh yes, that must be a chairman sending his car. So Min Hee-jin made a statement about this, saying that I've never contacted them. I've never exchanged opinions. Oh, I want to block these false rumors at the source. HYBE is exploiting this information. But we not only have the interview of the Davolink chairman, there's also photo evidence. They have shown photo evidence of Min Hee-jin and that other uncle walk into this luxury villa apartment in Cheongdam-dong, the Beverly Hills of Korea. And so Dispatch captured this three-way meeting between Min Hee-jin, Chairman A, and Uncle B. So we know that they actually met and that she had lied from photo evidence, if you don't trust the chairman spilling his tea to Dispatch. But you want to taste some of that tea, don't you? So he said that Min Hee-jin even said like, oh, can I bring new jeans here? Now that kind of, should piss you off if you're like a bunny. She shouldn't be saying like, can I? It's more like, I must. If she really was a new jeans mama, it's more of I must. The way that it was looking out was just looking out for number one. Now, granted, the connection, how was she connected to the chairman of Davolink? It was through the uncle of one of the New Jeans members. And this is when it looks a little bit sloppy. It's always sloppy when you get your family members involved in the business side. That means like, yeah, she really is digging down, scratching the bottom of the barrel for them bunny uncles. Help. So the chairman said that, okay, well, we're in a situation where we want to make investments into new areas, and he was entertaining this possibility of investing $5 million into Min Hee-jin. Isn't it weird how it's like investing it into Min Hee-jin? Why not like her company or like an entity? Why is it always her? So Chairman A told Dispatch it looked like Min Hee-jin and Uncle B were already preparing to get out of HYBE. Again, Uncle B contacted the chairman first. According to the chairman, he asked if I could invest about 5 billion won, or about $5 million into Min Hee-jin, and it seemed like the two were communicating closely about the investment. What happened to all these claims that she ain't meeting with investors? And then also Dispatch reported that Uncle B was, yes, meeting with Min Hee-jin and then also being the liaison from this investment opportunity to the rest of the other New Jeans families to get them all on the same page and probably on board. What's the reward? We have even more tea. So the public filing that is incontrovertible that, basically if Min Hee-jin was telling the truth makes this chairman look like some delusional, like he should go into a different Carnival van to the circus. But of course not. He had to file with the Financial Supervisory Service disclosure system whenever you're appointing different directors to a public company. The public has to know, otherwise how can they trust whether to invest into your stock? So it's like one of these requirements. And since the board of directors directs the company, it's important like who those people are. So that's why there's this disclosure system. So ahead of the official vote, they filed the disclosure, and whose names were on there as new board members? Mr. Lee, and it looks like a Ms. Park, and they have a photo. They have a photo on Dispatch provided, I guess, by the chairman that said that these two people were going to join the board. One is an uncle, and I don't know, Ms. Park has some other kind of close connection, I guess. They didn't really go into Ms. Park. But then suddenly, Min Hee-jin publicly denied that she even contacted this chairman. And so then the chairman was like, what the heck? So I guess this is off. So he deleted these two people from the list of the board of directors. And when he was asked about like, okay, so what happened? Did she just change her mind, or was it really a prank by Uncle B? And the chairman was like, look, if this were a prank, this is the first time I ever had to endure this type of prank. Dispatch then brought in philosophy. They said that all of this is unfair because it's the asymmetrical principle of BS, that essentially it doesn't take much energy to lie and create nonsense or a little bit of like half-truths and falsehoods, but it takes a ton of resources and time and energy to refute all of it. And by the time you have exhausted the arguments and yourself, the person who lied has actually been declared the person telling the truth, or has swayed the public where the public believes the lie that was so easy to say, and not the exhaustive truth, which was so hard to bring up. That part of the article, I think, was just a little bit of a vamp to get to the part where you came for the most, I'm sure, when you find out your mama a grown hoe. Oh my God. These were telegram messages. We don't know exactly who gave the telegram messages to Dispatch, but we do see that the telegram messages were from Min Hee-jin. In these text messages, it said that she was wagging her tail like crazy at a senior HYBE executive, basically flirting with him hard, and told him to sit and come closer so I could hear him. Like, oh, I can't hear you. Can you come closer? I can't hear you. Can you come closer? And then she says, it's not that I want to do body lobbying, like like using your cookies to get some milk. But if it makes everything easier, I could definitely do it. She even said if I could sleep with him once and have him wrapped around my finger. Now, from this scenario itself, it looks like the HYBE executives turned her down. There was no body lobby, but it certainly looked like she knew how to work the cash registers at the Hobby Lobby. And not only that, apparently she had asked shamans for a love spell so that the shamans attempted to enter the bodies of the men, but the HYBE executives apparently shut it down, but she actually ended up winning anyhow. This whole thing happened during the time when she wanted to take new jeans out of source and bring them into a door, which she was able to succeed in. And good thing that the HYBE executives shut it down, because yes, she may get some bunny uncles to eventually cave in or go along, but hasn't she met bunny uncles' wives?
Close your legs to married men.
Excuse
you heard
me?
it? Close your legs to married men. You're the one that's trouble. You're the one that's going around lying on everybody.
I don't think so.
You are.
I don't
Lying
think
every
so.
chance you get, you lie.
Because if there's any enemy of the grown hoe, is a grown woman who ain't a hoe. And then Dispatch made fun of Min Hee-jin trying to proselytize about karma, because remember in her resignation statement she said one person's malicious action shouldn't damage the nature of karma, this whole thing is really bad. But she didn't even come up with that herself. She thought that she was throwing words that other people at HYBE have said about her in their faces, but Dispatch is saying like Min Hee-jin is not the person to be talking about karma. First, she used some cookies to try to get a door started with new jeans stolen from Source Music, instead of working hard for it, wagging her tail for it. She also used new jeans as a shield, says Dispatch, and particularly for the live broadcast and the appearance at the National Assembly. And even if it seems as if there were some gains that Min Hee-jin got, New Jeans was the one that had to suffer the wounds. And whenever there were reports that hurt her credibility, she would just say, oh, they're just groundless rumors. And so this time Dispatch was saying, look, this time we got the photos. So how did Min Hee-jin respond? She filed a defamation suit against the Dispatch reporters and HYBE's ex-CEO and PR chief with the Yongsan police station. So she's going for a criminal violation, which has a very low level of punishment. And she also released a statement through her famous consulting marketing group, and it said that the same things, that they essentially are going to file charges against former HYBE CEO Park Ji-won and HYBE CPO Park Tae-hee for a violation of the Act on Promotion of Information and Communication Network Utilization and Information Protection. And the Dispatch reporters Kim Ji-ho and Park Hae-jin. Now, they say that they got illegally obtained private conversations. They added false information to create negative public sentiment, and that they published one-sided claims without any verification to create false content. With all of the other suits and investigations going on with Min Hee-jin, especially at that Yongsan police station, I don't think she's going to get really far with this. And then also, now she has really ruffled the feathers of a huge beast, namely Dispatch. Of course, Dispatch, you guys all know, they always have the mystery couple that is unveiled every New Year's Day. They do a lot of great guerrilla entertainment reporting, although there is always controversy, like not good stuff sometimes, but they're fearless. They will take the shots. And so they also have a lot of leverage and power. And so how many K-pop stars does she actually have under her belt where she can say, Dispatch, I'm not going to give you an interview with any of these people if you're mean to me. She only has New Jeans right now. And who's going to actually care? And then she's trying to threaten Dispatch. All of the people she's pissed off are probably coordinating with Dispatch and saying like, look, hey, you want an interview? You want content? Just come to us. Enemy of my enemy is my friend. So how do you guys feel? Are you heartbroken that you found out that New Jeans Mama is a grown hoe wagging her tail in front of executives on purpose for expediency to get what she wants? And are you scared about the actual implications it could have? Because what the Dispatch article was implying, or didn't really have to say on the surface, was that you're seeing the mama willing to take one for the team, for body lobby or not, or flirt with the line definitely. And we also saw that she's willing to use the New Jeans girls as tools and as weapons in her fight. When you put the two together, is it possible that a mama would feel that it's expedient for one of her children to take one for the team? That is the more scary and disturbing situation. And we definitely talk about needing to protect. That's why we need to protect New Jeans. And we have to protect South Korea and the entire K-pop industry from the New Jeans Mama. So yes, it is all about protection, but you're forgetting who needs protecting from whom. All right, guys, put your comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.